What are the solutions now going forward? So we said this is Bournemouth this weekend at Anfield, which is the perfect way really of like steadying the ship, finally kickstart the season, get a win, and then try to forget about the first 3 games of the season. So what for you are the solutions? What would you do?
Klopp has to go to the players, certain players, and say, what made you an outstanding individual over the last 4 or 5 years? What has made you, everybody talk about you, say, for instance, Van Dijk, that you're going to be winning every ball in the air. Yeah. You're going to be making interceptions. When the ball's played in behind you, you get back and show good pace. You're calm in possession, but you don't take risks. That's not what he's doing at the moment. Yeah. He's not closing down. He's playing at half pace, I would say, or 3/4 pace. And once any Liverpool player plays at 3/4 pace, they're not the same team or the same player. So they've got to get back to that intensity, and that's what Klopp has got to get across to the players. We've been successful because this is the way we play, and we play it very well. You can't drop your standards or your intensity, otherwise we might be in trouble.
Defensively, would you drop any of that back four? I mean, I think Robertson, even if Mane played the half of last season at the number 9 or for number 9, and Diaz played ahead of Robertson, I think Robertson is struggling without Mane. Yeah, I think him and Mane on that left-hand side were so good and could play with each other, their eyes closed, and the way they defended as well. I think Robertson is struggling too. Yeah,
I would say when I watch Robertson at the moment, he's not playing with the same confidence or the same enjoyment. He used to charge forward and he used to, look at that. He's playing with such enjoyment. Now it looks as though his body language isn't quite the same. Yeah. I think he can play with Diaz. I mean, Diaz loves to come in from the side on his right foot. They can play the ball infield, and Robertson will carry on his run outside and he'll get crosses in. He's still an excellent player. Yeah. There's something about him that he's not quite right at the moment. And I've always got a problem with Alexander-Arnold, because I'm unfortunately a glass half empty. And if I'm putting out a team and I think I've got a right back who doesn't want to defend and can't defend and has no, and I don't think I'm speaking out, has no idea about positional play, I'm not sure I could put him in the team. I'd have to play, if I was Liverpool manager, I'd have to play him as a right wing back and play with 3 centre halves, because I couldn't allow my right back to be so negative when it comes to recovery runs. And it's inexcusable. The goal against Fulham, when the cross comes into the box, you cannot, as a fullback, duck and allow Mitrovic to beat him in the air.
You always put your money on Mitrovic winning the header, though, right?
Yeah, of course. But he's got to back in and make it difficult for him. Yeah. He ducked and almost said, I don't really want to head this.
I've got more issues with the Sancho goal on Monday night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because this, for me, if I was Klopp, and I think you're right, but you're a bit harsh on Trent in the sense that I think he can defend one-on-one. Okay, I think sometimes he lacks maybe the motivation for it, and we see that on the Sancho goal, because otherwise he would not be just literally trotting when the danger is there and he doesn't do anything. And now you're shouting at the TV saying like, what are you doing? Come on, this is not acceptable as an attitude, as a behaviour for a Liverpool defender when United are about to score a goal.
You say he's good in 1v1 situations.
He's better than people say he is. I think people are saying he's rubbish.
I would say I'm surprised when he wins a one-on-one battle. I watched him when Inter played Liverpool. I always thought Liverpool were, although Inter played okay and sort of got through the game, Inter were playing at 100%. And Liverpool could play at 75% and still be a match for them in the San Siro. The one area that I thought that Inter would keep having joy was when Perisic got in a 1v1 against Alexander-Arnold, and he went past him 4 or 5 times and got crosses in. And it was the only area of the pitch where I thought Liverpool might struggle.
No, so I get you.
But don't get me wrong. He's a wonderful passer of the ball, a great cross of the ball. But if your position is right back, you have to do 2 parts of the game. You have to get forward and get crosses, but you also have to defend. And if you don't defend, you're a liability to your team.
No, and I think more and more teams are targeting him. And we saw that with Elanga on Monday night. We saw that last season. Remember City were attacking on his side and Cancelo was playing really high, so there could be two against one, where he struggled even more than 1v1. It's quite clear that he prefers attacking than defending. Okay, I give you that. I still think that people are quite harsh on his defending because I still think that you don't get to this level if you're not
of course.
a good defender. But I think the problem is that before his issue was just what's the word I'm looking for? Compensated by how good Van Dijk was and how good the Van Dijk Matip or the Van Dijk Konate partnership was, and or even Robertson.
And they also had
the
midfield player that would say, okay, the right-sided midfield player, so Henderson. I'm going to, as soon as Alexander-Arnold gets into those areas, I'm going to be covering his position. When they lack maybe a little bit of energy and fitness and determination, and they don't make those runs in behind Alexander-Arnold, then he's exposed. And we were talking off air. Liverpool need that intensity, because when they didn't have the crowd at Liverpool when COVID, they lost 6 home games on the trot because there wasn't that extra yard to go and close the ball down. And once you don't have that extra yard, you get played around, and that's Liverpool's problem at the moment.
We expect a reaction on the weekend against Bournemouth, right? They should win that. You expect different attitude. You think that club this week is, has like sort of battered them, and that maybe even himself kind of like reassessed his decision.
He will have analysed the games, and he'll say, look, we could have got tighter there. We could have done that better. We could have done that better. Maybe we don't see the training. He might think, I've overtrained the players, so they're tired. Maybe. He might say the other way, well, I haven't trained them enough, so I need to work them harder to get them up to match speed. Whatever it is, he's got to analyse it with his fitness coaches, with his staff, and say, how do we get Liverpool back to being the brilliant side that they've been over the last 3 years?
Well, I hope he listens to us, because he will have a good idea of what to do, and then we see this weekend if it works.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.